looking good over here as well. Perfection. Excellent. Now, this will be a literally every single step tutorial. As you can see, there is no paint on this old dry canvas today. So, what we're going to use is our liquid white, which in this instance is the Bob Ross liquid white. We're going to dip into the jar just a little bit like that. Don't want to have too much excess. So, let's not get it all over the place. And then, we're going to make a big X across our canvas and start to blend out all this white paint. These are what's fun about these literally every single step canvas videos, is that I show you every single step that you're going to need to do the entire painting. Right? So we have our dry 18 by 24 canvas that we're now making wet with our Bob Ross liquid white, or you can use the Grumbacher's liquid white. I would prefer you to use some form of liquid white, either one of those two, right? You can get away with using the clear paint as your base coat, but it's not as nice to the colors. You have to do a lot more blending prior to putting them onto the canvas. And so we like that liquid white because it helps. It just really helps everything blend together nice and smoothly. Now, I'm going to show you how to test and make sure that you've got just the right amount on your canvas, okay? And even though you think you've gone over it once or you've gone over it twice, just do it one or two more times for me, just to make sure that you got all that color. And if you do it like this, you'll end up with big old biceps. No, I'm just kidding. Now, let's come out here. We're going to test, okay? So we've got nice clean gloves. We're going to touch, 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 touch. Each of them should be equal like that, to where we can see just a little bit of our liquid white. All those little black empty spaces are the pores that are inside the canvas. So let's say you're not wearing gloves, you'll be able to see your fingerprint, all the little ridges in your fingerprint. If you touch it and it's too goopy, then you have too much and you need to wipe it with paper towel. If not, then I think we're ready to get started, you guys. Now we're gonna do a really cool little tropically scene. And we're gonna go with a blue sky. So let's take our ultramarine blue right onto the same liquid white covered brush that we had already prepped our canvas with. Now that we know we're ready to go, I'm gonna start dropping it on. Now, the more that we drop on up here, the more it's going to want to connect. And we want to leave a big open space to allow them to blend together. All right, we don't want to go down past half. So let's go right to our halfway mark right there. Blend it across the side, leaving little spaces and a little spot for all this stuff to mix, right? We're just giving it a starting point right now. And while we have the blue on the brush action, let's come down here just a little bit. There. Again, we don't need to go too much blue, and that shows you just about how much back ocean that we're really going to have in this painting if we don't allow these two colors to touch. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of my black as well, and I'm talking about maybe one swipe, one little corner of black paint onto our canvas, so I can dump it over there, dump it over here, and that way we'll have just a little bit of off blue out there onto our canvas, okay? Now, it depends on how much paint is on your brush at this moment, whether or not you're able to blend. I think I've got too much paint on the brush right here. So what I'm going to do is wash it off, and we use our odorless mineral spirits to wash off our brush and make sure that it comes out, right? It can drip if you don't get all that stuff out, so be careful. Shake it into a can, then we'll come over here, beat it into the bucket. Boom, comes out nice and dry-ish, right? We're going to come over here and tap it on a paper towel. And you can actually see it on the YouTube one. You can tap it on a paper towel like that, just like that. Fabulous. Fabulous. You guys are going to see my big belly protrude into the scenes. Gotta keep it sucked in nice and tight. Okay. Now, once we dab off our brush, literally like just whacking it on the paper towel like that, okay? Comes out much drier. Now, you don't need it to be 100% dry, because you need a little bit of that wetness in there to allow that paint to help blend it, right? We start in our brightest area first, which is the white unpainted area. And as we come out and grab a little bit of blue and drag it in, this white area is going to start turning blue. That is okay. We don't need it to stay pure white forever. We just don't want to have as much paint here as we have up here. And it's going to make sense when we go to do our clouds later on, right? So we blend it, and blend it, and blend it, and blend it. We're staying in that light blue area because there's a less amount of paint down here and more of that white. You get this very faded whitish bluish sky that just looks fantastic. And as we get up into the top corners of our canvas where all that color is, It's going to start to grow and overtake our bright area, right? It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. There will still be less paint here than there is here, no matter what, because we didn't put any there to start, okay? Now we can allow this guy to drag in, dragging, blending, crisscrossing, letting it work its way down, back and forth, just trying to get rid of the streaks from putting it on, is all we're really doing, okay? Getting rid of the streaks, and the more that we blend it together, the more it's all gonna be the same. So start looking at it and going, ooh, I like that dark area into this lighter color, and especially when we grab this color over here and start dragging this one in all the way from the corner, just like a clock. Right, get it to spread out like that, and then you can go back and mix it, little crisscross or figure eights as you're mixing around the canvas. Boom, get this soft little sky in the night, wherever. Now we're gonna go around the edges of our canvas and finish around the edges, because you need to at least put a little bit of color around the sides. It's just gonna make it look more finished, okay? Boom, that's a really cool sky in just about 3 minutes, right? Knocked out a massively cool sky. I need some more of my white paint. So lucky for you, you're going to get to see what the paint tube looks like today. This is our Master's Touch titanium white, and I found that the Master's Touch titanium white is a little bit on the wetter side, right? It's not as firm as Gamblin or the Windsor, or especially the Bob Ross. It's probably the firmest, right? But you can still use it. You just gotta remember, it's not as firm as the rest, right? But it's still a very firm paint. So we're gonna get a lot of this paint onto the brush, okay? When we're on a white canvas with a lot of color, whether it be blue or a sunset sky, you need lots of paint on the brush. Let's come up this way and just go, right? Kind of cutting right through that light area that we had. We had that whole big light area in there. And if we kind of come up and cut through here, and then use our brush to literally wipe off that excess paint, so it grows down and has a bit bigger an area that we can grab, right? We'll have cooler clouds. Now, because it's mixing in with the blue and the black and the, all that color, it's gonna start to pick up all these shadows, okay? So you can come back with a little 1-inch brush, and you can start to mix it. And what I do is use little counterclockwise circles. And as we mix it, it becomes softer, right? Especially in areas where there wasn't a lot of paint, it becomes much softer. In the areas where there was a lot of paint, where it's very thick, it's gonna be brighter. Right? Pick it up and you can push on it harder to move the color, okay? All we're trying to do is disturb the paint a little bit along the top, so it stays kind of brightish along the top. And then the more you get back here, the more you're pushing it. Look at the brush bend, right? You're pushing it, you're blending it away with all of that sky color out there until you have a cloud that looks however you want it to look, right? Say I wanted it to have a whole nother space in here. Bam. Come in there, we can even allow it to attach, leaving a little gap in between. Right? This is what's so fun about doing these clouds, is you can do them so many different ways. And if you leave a couple little areas of disconnect or darkness, then it's going to start looking a lot cooler, right? And every time we do it, another chance to do it a bit differently, right? Remember, all these clouds are in the background. We're going to have lots of palm trees up here in the foreground and stuff, so don't leave your clouds too thick out there. You have to blend them down, make them a little softer. Now, let's say you want to have a little shadow underneath those guys. What if we grab just literally like 2 swipes, three swipes of black, 2 swipes of blue, and just come up underneath this guy. Bang, right? Chuck in a little bit. Now you got a little bit of darkness underneath there. I'm gonna dab off my brush onto the paper towel, and then we're gonna come back, we're gonna mix these two together, right? Taking the darkness going up, grabbing the light and working its way down. And if we can do that and leave a small amount of that darker color underneath there, you get this faraway little shadow underneath your cloud. It just makes it look like a flat bottom out there. It might start raining at any moment, right out there in the night. Fabulous. Right? The more you mix it, the more it'll disappear. So you get to decide how you like it every time. Now remember, we're not going to work too much on our clouds. Now let's get down into our oceany area. We're going to take a little bit of our black paint, a little bit of our blue paint. We'll mix it down like this, both sides, mixing it down over here. So we've got a fair amount of paint onto our brush, right? Once we have that fair amount of paint onto our brush, we're going to be able to drop off a lot of darkness. So it's the same kind of colors that we've been using, but if we use it real heavily, right? And it's gonna drop off and be real dark. So let's come up here like this. There we go. All the way across. Try to do the hardest thing known to an artist. Paint a straight line. Now, do you guys think that is a level horizon? Just let me know. Is it a level horizon? Yes or no? And all we're doing is putting that dark color down, and now we're allowing it with less pressure on our brush, so we're dropping off less darkness, allowing it to mix in with that blue color that's down here. So we get this little fade from dark to kind of lighter to bluish bright, right? Perfect. Is that straight though? Is that a horizon that is level? I can't tell from over here on the side, so you guys have to help me out. That's pretty level in my opinion. That is pretty level. We do have a level actually. Should we test it on a level? All right, hang on. Hang on. That's the bottom. There we go. Is it level? Whoa, wait a minute. I can't even see with the shadow now. That's pretty level. It's within limits. It's within the limits right there. I would say that's pretty level. Perfect. Okay. Now what we need to do is put this big old brush down, and we'll get back here with our palette tool. And when we use our palette tool, we're going to start dropping off all sorts of wave details in the background. Okay, now let's get out here in just in about 11 minutes from the start to the finish. Every single step, we made it this far in 11 minutes. Come on, guys. You can do this. You've got the time. Let's pull down the pure titanium white. Let's scrape it up a little bit so we've got a little roll on the end. And then we're going to come out here and remember that the whole backwater ocean area is almost invisible to us. We will not see a lot of this, especially over here to the side, right? It just doesn't happen. And all I'm doing is just scraping in back and forth with the palette tool, right? To create these little faraway white caps. Now, if we look really closely at this tool, you can see we've worn away the paint right at the end. Right? There's an empty gap between that and the remaining paint roll that's out there. So I could literally flatten it down, pick up the same roll, right? Just like that. Come back out here again, continuing on, and then we'll drop it off. See how we're getting a little bit lower as we get to the sides, higher in the center. So it's making this little wave shape like that. Very, very, very slight difference, but there is a slight difference. Okay, now the more that we grab, and again, it's taken the paint away from the front and pushed it to the back, so flatten it down, pick it up again, and you barely need any paint to do a painting like this. Barely any, right? Leave it weird, leave it odd. Don't let all the whites connect. Have that darker color. Don't let all of your white waves reach the very back of your horizon either, because you're not gonna see them that far away. They don't really start breaking until they get in to the shoreline, right? Remember, don't go side to side. We don't need to go all the way. Okay, now we're going to imagine that we've got one side crashing one way and one side crashing the other way, okay? So we'll take our little bit of paint out here again. We're going to basically touch and remove the paint, just like we make our tree bark, right on the edge of that line. So we're tapping at it and removing it, leaving a little bit of texture up there, just like this. We're basically touching and removing, leaving a little bit of paint there that we'll be able to drag over on this step right now, right? So we wipe off our blade, come over here, and remember, it's like a clock. We do not want to pull down to 6 o'clock right here. We at least want to go to 7, and then 8, 8:30, 9 over here, okay? So we're going to go, and we're going to aim towards 7. Boom, right there. Come over here, we're going to aim a little bit more, over to the side, over to the side. Now our blade is changing, and it's moving, and we're going further over to this side, further down as we get in here. Remember, it doesn't have to be too big or too giant, but you do have to have that rounded thing. Pretend there's a ball in there. You can't just come straight down over it, okay? Now, the smaller little details that you can make up here, the more you can extend that rounded shape. Right? All depends on what you want to put up there. Every time you want to do it, you can try to do it a little bit different, okay? Told you, we don't even need a whole lot of that back ocean stuff, right? Now, come over here, we're going to scrape up again, a little bit of that white. Let's come off of this side. We're going to tap onto it, tap, 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 until we kind of run out of paint, okay? Now again, now we're going to be going to 5 o'clock, not 6:30, not 5:30, but 5 o'clock, 4:30, 4, 3:30, 3, okay? Over here, very lightly, down to 5 o'clock. Okay, now we're going to go to 4:30. I'm moving over a little bit, touching, over. The more we go this way, the more our blade will turn and go to the edge, right? I'm trying to overemphasize it for you guys. so you can see, right, what will happen. But you have to have those different angles, right? Even if we overemphasize, we gotta have those different angles. And remember not to let it roll down too far. We wanna keep them pretty level across the bottom, okay? Very, very cool. Now let's drop into our liquid white onto just an old shabby old fan brush, right? So I dip into the liquid white and then I come up here into the titanium white. Now we were just doing a Seascape class, a virtual class earlier today, and focusing on the right amount of paint to have to do this next step. Okay, what I want to do is come down underneath my guy, and then up, and then down underneath it, basically making a wavelength of a shape, okay? This, and how tall it gets up in the sky is all up to you. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to start smacking at the canvas, and then moving down, and moving down. I obviously don't want it to be so perfect, right? Which is why we smack it fast, and we leave these weird little bits. It's all you need, okay? We're going to come up above our horizon anyway, by the time we get there, but we don't need to do it just yet, okay? Come down here, and I know it looks a little funky until you go and brush it out. And then we go back and we do it 2 times, right? The more of this splash you have, the closer it's going to be towards us, okay? So remember that. Come back in here, we'll start to grab it with just like 2 bristles, literally. Just trying to get it to go soft, just a little bit. Because this paint has the liquid white in it, it's going to disappear if you push it too hard. Literally gone, disappear, because we pushed it too hard, right? That's why we come back in with another little dip into the liquid white, about 1/4 inch up the bristle, so there's a good amount of paint right there, right? Over into the titanium white, and we go back and we do it a second time, okay? So this guy, then we splash it up a little bit higher up into the wave up here, or we drop down a little bit lower down here, because that kind of looks real good. But all you're trying to do is leave a second layer of different stuff, right? So if we smack it all the same amount, and then we come out and we brush it all out all the same amount, then it's going to look exactly like it did the first time. But if we come in here and we're very, see how I don't even think I actually touched anything up there. I was just trying to float over the paint very lightly, trying to make it look odd. So leave some spaces that are untouched, some spaces that are overbrushed, some that are in between. You have to have it look strange. If it looks too perfect, it's going to look weird, okay? Now, let's go do it off the other side. One of these ways is going to be easier for you to do, okay? Whether you're right-handed or whether you're left-handed, it will be easier for you to do one side. I feel like if, as a right-handed painter, that it is easier to do the left-handing crashers. It's just an easier motion for our hand versus trying to go backwards is an easier motion for a left-handed painter to do these right-side crashing waves, right? So it's backwards to what you think. So come in here, and we're gonna continue. We're gonna smack on, doesn't have to be perfect, drop down, there we go, into the thing, turn the brush over so we get some fresh paint. And if we need to, go back in, get some more paint, go back over here, splash, just about as big and as crazy as you want it to be, okay? Honestly, it can do whatever you want it to do. This will grow down if you pull on it too hard. So I'm talking about the smallest, maybe 1 or 2 little bristles on the brush. Little bit, okay? Come in there, very, very soft, just disturbing the paint a little bit. Okay, we're gonna come over here, we're gonna work it up towards this and work it down a little bit, right? Just work it, girl. Over there, we're gonna leave some of these areas up on top untouched, because I like that. It's gorgeous, looks like it's getting hit by a ray of light or something, right? And then we're gonna come back, we're gonna do it again. Because as you can see, the differences, right? Like this is the first go versus this over here is the second go. It's a little bit brighter, there's a little bit more detail over there because there are 2 layers of splash and brushed out nature in there, right? There we go. Brushing it out, smacking it. Again, I don't need it to be perfect, I don't need it to be the same, and I don't want it to look exactly how it did before. I want it to be different. So on this second go, we come at it just a bit quicker and just not even caring if we hit some areas, if we didn't hit some areas, if some are more brushed out, then that's okay. If some are untouched, that's okay. We're gonna come back and throw paint at this canvas anyway. So it doesn't matter what it looks like right now, right? It's just a bit of background for our foreground details. Now we're gonna take our liquid white I'm gonna come over here and scrape it up. Mix it with a little bit of titanium white. You want it to be about a 90-10 mix. 90-10 mix seems to work the best from here on out, right? Until the very end when we're using pretty much nothing. Now, in order to make it look like it's coming at us, or at least have it like a little fisheye sort of a view, we have to start a little higher on one side, come down here into the middle, and then start higher on one side and meet it down here in the middle, okay? Now, if we start way up here, okay, start scraping at it, and start pushing on the blade. The more you go, the more you have to push on the blade to get it to drop stuff off until eventually you can't reach anymore. In which case you come back and you grab some more of this guy. All right, turn it down like this, there we go. All we're trying to do is drop a bit of that white ridge right out on the front. And as it gets down here, it gets a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. And then it'll start to climb up around the other side. Just helping the water look like it's getting a little closer to us. The edges being a bit further away anyway, and the center being a little closer. Now, all we're doing is just picking up some paint, scraping it down, right? Picking up some more, scraping it down until we come down here and meet right about there, okay? Don't need much more than that, and then you can decide how far out you want to take these guys, right? Like this guy probably needs to come out another inch or so down. So if I just scrape down at this angle, we can take the paint that is already there and move it versus adding more, right? The more that we add, the more wet the canvas is going to be, the harder it's going to be to do our jobs, right? On this side, bring out, scraping it, pulling it out, ouch, down here, down there. And what it does is it leaves a little bit of space there, that flat ground that's being rolled up underneath, right? You get to determine the shape of yours every time that you go to do it. All we're trying to do, leave a little bit of that white ridge of paint out there on the front, and having everything else kind of fade back as it mixes backwards, right? Now, how are we going to get any amount of details right here in the center? Well, we're going to be working in very shallow Z sections, okay? So this will come back over here, we might come back a little higher, and then we'll skip down, and we'll mix it back and forth. We know we don't want it to go up too much, and we can literally scrape up vertically in there to drop a little bit of that chunk off, right? Fill it in down here. Gotta have a little bit of water right where your wave comes down and makes contact, okay? Very cool. And all we're doing is just literally scraping in some of the white so that it mixes in with the color that's already there, right? We're not trying to cover every single spot with white. We don't need the entire painting to just be white, right? We have to have some of those other colors too. But isn't that amazing? Just whoosh, right up through it. Yes! We can even take this guy. Just in case you don't want to add any palm trees, at least make your splash go edge to edge so you can't really see, right? And then we can come in and decide if we want to put a palm tree in there or not. Just by tapping it in and then very lightly mixing it maybe 2-3 times. Seriously, filled it up, right? Didn't have to do much. Get in there, fill it up. Now, you guys know where you can go to grab this one. I am always telling you. Always telling you. The mods are telling you where to go. All right, that's all we got to do. We also have a lot more of those stencils, guys. I've got so many more coming too. Wow, this one looks amazing. Okay, now let's get down underneath. We'll pop in a bit of our brown color right over here. I've got so much chunky skin on this palette. I had one fall off and hit my shoe yesterday. just ouch. What's up, Lennon? You leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take our 2 brown colors, we're going to come down here, just very light. I'm not going to push real hard against the canvas because that would drop off too much paint. Right? If I just very lightly kind of graze over it, then I won't drop off so much paint, and it will not cover up all of this bluey thing either, right? Because now we're going to go mix these things back and forth and let them blend, but we can't very well do that with all this paint all over our brush, right? So let's go wash off this paint. There we go. The more that we push onto it, the more that we're going to drop that color, and it's going to make our canvas a little darker.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
My headphones.
It's okay. Don't worry. I was like, what's that noise? Oh,
It's you.
It's my voice. It's all good. There we go. Okay. Now the more we mix in there with all that blue and stuff, plus the brown that's on the thing, the more dark it's gonna get, right? So let's go wash the brush off. And then we'll go back and blend it out. And it'll look really cool. So we go into our odorless mineral spirits and then over into the trash can where we flick it like we're whipping a paper towel. Flip the excess off. Then you go into the beater bucket and beat it against the little grate or whatever you got down in there. Then you dab it on a paper towel. You gotta dab it on a paper towel all the time. And try not to set your tools down in the area where you dab your brush off, because that makes for dirty handles. There we go. Perfect. Now, let's take our clean, dry brush, and we're gonna start to mix it back and forth. But all I want you guys to do is just tell me where you're watching from around the world. Like, where are you from? That's all I need to know. Where are you from? Let us know in the comments. We're gonna come in here. Anytime we blend, we always start in the lightest color first. Go into that blue. I'm gonna blend it down onto that brown, right? We don't have to have a perfect thing. All we need is a little bit of difference in there, right? Bang. Now when we come out with our next line of water into this blue area, it's gonna look like that very thin, retracting area that's in there, right? Very cool, you guys. I like it. Okay, let's come back. We're gonna take our palette tool again. We're gonna get a little bit of that liquid white onto it, and a little touch of our titanium white as well. So we get in here like this, pull it down, like a very, very, very wet paint, right? Versus all of our other firm paints. Then we're gonna come out here, and then we can decide how far out that little foamy line wants to sit. It's way out here. Right? It's not gonna go forever, so you gotta go back and get some more paint. Back in there. It doesn't have to match the shape of the wave perfectly. You don't have to match both of those, right? It can be different. It's okay. Come out on this side, straighten it down. You can only go so far before you need to go back and get some more paint, right? So go back in there, grab it up, come down, bang. Bing, bang, boom. Doesn't that look like sandy beach, you guys? That's amazing. Holy cow. Woo! That looks cool right there. Now, why don't we come out here and we'll scrape in just a couple little oddities from the side though, right? We don't need to have everything go vertical. You never want to go up towards the wave, right? You want to have these horizontal depositations of paint or little swirls or whatever. You never want them going vertically. Always have them flat along the side. These little bits that are stuck out there, maybe they're rolling back a certain way, one's going one way, one's going the other way. Whatever it is, that's looking really cool. Now, here's everyone's favorite part, is how we do our sand. So if you've never seen me put sand into a painting before, you better see it now. See it now, my friends. Okay. We are going to take our fan brush, and we're going to dip a very small amount of our odorless mineral spirits, right? That brush cleaner, that paint thinner. And dab it onto our black pile over here, right? Just making it very runny. You can see it's even trying. It's trying to run and drip down. There it goes. You guys see the drip right there? That's how runny you need it to be. You need it to be like watercolor, okay? And whoa, I about dropped the palette face down. That would have been bad. Okay, so once it's like watercolor, we're gonna come out here. We're gonna tap on to the edge of our guy. Don't push through, otherwise you're gonna spritz the stuff everywhere, okay? Tap it onto the edge, back up away from your canvas, and start sprinkling it, boop, just like that. The more you have on your brush, or the more wet it is, the bigger splotches are going to come out. The less you have on the brush, or the more paint you have in there versus less paint thinner, then the more fine little specks that you're gonna pop out, just like that. Fabulous, right? Now, we're gonna go over these guys with a bit of brown and then a bit of our white as well, and that's when it really comes to life. So, give me a second, show you what it's gonna look like. We're gonna go into our brown color. A little bit of that oil color mixed in with our odorless mineral spirits, so it's very wet, just like watercolor. Come over here, start sprinkling in our little brown specks. If you get them up inside your water, that's okay. It's okay, okay? Now, does that look like sand to you? Just yes or no in the comments, and then we're gonna hit you with the white specks and really see what it's supposed to look like. But you gotta tell me, is that or does that look like sand to you? Just yes or no. That's all we need. Just a yes or no answer. Oh, guys. That's fabulous. Not really, but I trust you. It's fun. Watch this. The more we plop on this liquidy white stuff, okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up in here into our wave. We're going to sprinkle it on, launching it up into the sky, splashing it all over the place, right? All these little speckles, like I told you. We weren't going to see a lot of those brush marks out there. You just spritz on all your water, okay? Go back in a little bit more. We'll go do our other side. Okay? And then with these same white specks, we're going to be launching them into the sand. Okay? All these little sprays, you guys, I'm telling you, you don't have to paint every detail with every little tiny little spray. And then you fill it in, back in there. Oh, isn't that wicked? Get all those little spray bits. Now, one more time with the liquid white. Again, we don't want to have, that's a ton, Josh. What happened? Why do I have so much? Okay, out here, little flicks. Too much brush. Little flicks. There we go. The more we spritz with this white across all those other darker colors, okay, the more your brain is going to be like, oh, that's freaking sand. Watch, here it comes. Here it comes. Can you see the difference from the one side to the other side? You see the difference from the one side to the other side? Do you see? I see the vision. Thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate. Okay, we're gonna keep going because we got a big old canvas over here. There we go. A couple little white specks. The more white specks that you do, the more it actually looks like sand. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But you get to decide when your sand is done, what it's going to look like, this, that, and the other, all up to you. Remember, this painting is available. It's over there. The mods will tell you how to get there. Very easy to find. Man, that's cool, guys. Now, any one of these guys that you don't like in here, literally blend away. Gone. Or it'll look like a little stone that the water is dragging across. A little whoop, right? Because it can't all be perfect. Gotta have some rocks out there. That's really cool, though. That is really cool. In just a half hour, we painted that whole thing. Just 30 minutes, you guys. That's cool. I like it, my friends. Very neat, guys. I'm trying to zoom you guys in a little bit. I know it's late, but neat, neat, neat. Like this one, dudes. Come in here and tap at this guy a bit more just to get rid of that severe brightness or untouchedness. There. The more we play around with it, the more we're going to mix it all together. So, you decide what it's supposed to look like. Now, let's come in here. I said I was going to make an old palm tree in this one. So let's throw a palm tree or two in this guy. And we'll see what we're looking like. What do you guys think? I know it looks gorgeous right now, but wouldn't it look pretty with a little palm tree out there? Just in my own opinion. I think it would look kind of pretty with a palm tree out there. There. Oh, this one is so textured, and even in the water lines, you guys are going to love it. Oh, you're going to love it. You are going to love it. So, if you want to grab this one, you guys know where to go. Let the mods know, hey, I want to get this one. How do I find it, man? And then they'll tell you how to get there. All these things. Neat, right? That's what's so much fun about painting seascapes is it's just a mess of stuff. There's quite honestly a literal mess of white on top of that light color, your sandy color, your blue watery color. Right? It's just a legit mess down here in the water. And that's what makes it so fun to paint. Because you can do literally, there's no way to mess it up. You can have all these things out there, and someone will look at it and be like, yeah, I've seen it looks exactly like water. You know what I mean? If everything is too perfect, then nothing's going to look right, in my opinion. Now, let's get out here, and we need to mix up a whole bunch of our plaque mix. If we're going to make a palm tree, we're going to be making our Paint with Josh plaque mix, which is the blue, black, and crimson all put together, okay? And then we're going to add our green in about a half, like a 50-50. So make up your plaque mix, and then whatever size pile that is, grab that much green to put into it, which should be pretty green when we get up here, which means it'll keep our green highlights greener for longer. How many times can I say green in one sentence? That's a lot of green times, you guys. But it needs to be dark in order for it to stand out, right? So, man, it's looking cool. Looking cool, you guys. All right, let's get out here and let's just see what we're gonna do as far as these little palm trees, okay? I'm gonna grab my Paint with Josh fan brush because that's my favorite one to make palm trees with. We're gonna come out here, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Ooh, do we have the space? Let's do one little small guy right over here on the edge. Just right off the edge. We're just gonna make a weird little shape, right? It's almost like a little amoeba or something. Just honestly, that's it. A little piece of darkness out there. I'm gonna take him and we're gonna put a little trunk on him right there. Just one little trunk moving around, going down. There, perfect, right? One little piece of trunk. That's gonna push him a bit further away, like he's leaning out towards the waves. What if we grab this guy up here and he becomes much larger and much closer? Oh, we could put him right down there, right up to here, right? So let's pop in just a little spider, an amoeba, something, right? But on this one, we're not going to leave him just like that. We're going to come in here. We're going to go, he looks like he wants to go down this way. So we're going to take him down that way. We're going to grab onto it very lightly. Pull harder up here so you get a longer frond, less down there so it becomes skinnier, right? Let's go off his edge over this one. Grab it, harder, and then less. Each time. Yeah! That looks really cool. Always give him a little bad haircut on the top, right? You can even go out and add another little arm wherever you want it to be, right? All up to you each time you do it. If we went up this way, put a little arm over there, we popped it off, right? We just don't want to fill up too much space, okay? That is fantastic. Literally got to cut down through some of this stuff and on the edges or in between your little branches. If you don't like what they look like, yeah, right? Just add a little bit of craziness out there, okay? Now we're gonna take this guy, we're gonna pull him down right through there. Oh man alive. I'm liking it. Now all we need to do is make it thicker as it comes down here and darker, right? If it's thicker and darker, because it's having to mix through all that white paint. That's what's trying to make it lighter. But if we get thicker down here, it's nice and dark, right? It's going to make it look like it's projecting its way out. There we go, right? Like leaning out towards the waves. See what I mean? Oof. God, it's cool. That is cool. You know what, too? If that guy's going out that far, dude, I like that. I don't know. Dang, maybe we'll have a little bit of grass down here. All right, but you get that thicker into thinner, gives it that effect that it's going out and away, okay? Now, let's do one more on this guy, if we have enough paint. Let me ask you that question. Do you think we have enough paint right here in that pile to make another palm tree? So the paint that's in this pile plus what's on the brush, do you think we have enough, yes or no? Just a little yes or no. Dude, that palm tree is rad. That palm tree is rad. Do you think we've got enough paint? Yes or no? Lots of people say no. I don't think so either. I think we need to mix up some more, but let's try it. Let's try it. For the people that are saying yes, and we do think we have enough, let's give it a old shot, right? Come out here, let's make this one. Since I don't want to do it the same exact way, let's just pop one onto this side. Just kind of put them out there like that. Bingo, bango. Little thing, right? Come out. We're definitely not going to have enough. I'll tell you that. This guy's going down like this. We're going to drag, less. Right? Not every place has to be the most covered or filled in. You're not going to see everything. And when you have a big space in between, remember, pop something out the middle. It's like a new branch growing that's not fully there yet. Whatever it is. We actually might have enough paint, you guys. We might have enough paint to do this palm tree. So if you said no, then I don't know what you're thinking out there. Dude, doesn't this guy look cool? If we imagine the other one coming down the backside. That. Yes. We can't really see the guy on the front, Plus, we're gonna pop out some little stuffs in between. Even broken little bits like that are gonna look really cool. Okay, then let's take this dude. We're gonna go right there. Slide him off in another direction, right? All up to us. We can allow this guy to get as big as we want as well, right? The more thick that it gets down here, the more it's gonna look like this part is closer and the top part is moving away. I like it, guys. I like it. I'm liking it. What do you guys think? Boom, ba, boom. I'm digging it, dude. Digging it. Now, these are looking very bright because we've got that white that we're trying to fight through. So, let's make up a little bit more of our Paint Josh plaque mix, just so it's nice and dark. We've already gone through all that white. It's already tried to ignite all of our color into something brighter, which we don't need. We need it to stay dark. So, let's go through the dark paint again. Bang. So that really make it dark, and then it'll help it stand out as being closer as well. This is almost a full brush length, like a full fan brush by the time we get down here. Dudes, I like it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in like with it right now. Now, let's come over here. We'll get a little bit of that paint up onto our brush. Maybe say we had some bit of something living down here. And then if there is any more, there is not. There's no more, so we'll have to make up. Actually, could we get, because this side doesn't have to be so big, right? We can just get a little out from underneath. There, just like that. Bang. Save the day with our little bit of darkness, right? Very cool, guys. I want to walk through this place and just get out to the surf. Fabulous. Okay, let's get in here, and what we're going to do is highlight these little guys down here, put some highlights on our trees, and then we'll be all set. So let's clean off some of these brushes before we get a giant pile amassing of these brushes. Let's give them a little clean. That way, we'll at least know we've got some clean tools over here. So while I'm doing that, you guys just check in, tell me where you are. We did a really cool scene kind of similar to this one with that sea turtle cutout, and I was like, man, that would look cool as a full painting as well, so let's just try that. I love the watercolor in this one too. It's like grayish blue. Very cool. Very cool. I love this area as well. Just feel like it's rushing in. It's gonna come back here and get our trees wet, you guys. All right, almost got all clean tools. And then we can decide how bright, how this, how that. We're gonna do our palm tree highlights and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to the smaller Paint Josh fan brush because I like the way that the smaller one hits on the branches when we're making these leaves, right? So I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna get a little bit of my yellow ochre onto the brush. So we get this yellow color right out there, tapping it on. Come over into my sap green, we're gonna mix them together. Right? Using that white as a meeting between them. Hey, okay, we're both of these guys, we're getting together. It's nice and wet on the brush, so we can literally tap off, and whatever falls off is going to get stuck on it, okay? Tap off a little bit, tap off. Our whole main goal, try not to cover everything, right? If we cover all the darkness with all this bright, then it's gonna be very flat, right? And when it's very flat, nobody's gonna like it, dude. Let's put a little yellow, a little of our green, come off of this guy, tapping down this way, tap, 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 right? Filling in those little spaces. Not every place has to be as bright as you think. You want some of those little areas of darkness in there, right? For that depth. That is a cool tree, okay? Because not everything is so dang bright. Not everything is all exactly alike, right? Some of those little bits are kind of covered. There's some areas where you can see some shadow underneath. It gives it depth, right? So let's come over and do it on this other guy. A little bit more of our liquid white. We never want to have too much. You have too much liquid white, it's going to want to try to climb up the bristles too far. And if it climbs up the bristles too far, then guess what? It's going to make too big of a shape onto our little guy. Right? So again, mixing up our little, it's kind of like a greenish brown. Come off of this guy, tap onto it, over here, over here, over here. Off of this guy, over here, over here, over here. Right? Just working it around like a clock, literally. Off of that guy, tap it down, tap it down. Trying not to cover every piece. So there's that dark space, there we go. Trying, again, not to cover everything. Now, you can't do a whole tree with just one load. So you gotta come over, your green and your liquid white and that yellow mixed together so it's not just pure sap green. That's the name. There. Tap it on, leaving some of those darker spaces. Those places where it just remains dark and gives you, right, that depth. So even on the top, I don't want to cover all of those little dark spots. Otherwise, we're going to lose all of that depth, okay? This guy's much easier to do because he's just a little random old mess, right? There's no real color, or there's no real fronds on him because he's very far away. So all you get is that bit of light over the dark color, meaning you better not put too much light over all that dark color out there, or you're going to regret it, not me, right? You're going to look at it and go, dang it, Bobby, I put too much darkness over that spot, or brightness over my spot of dark right there. And you're going to be the one that doesn't like it. Look at those palm trees. That is wicked. I find that palm trees are easier to paint than evergreens nowadays. Quite honestly, like we could do a palm tree over an evergreen every day because they're just easier. Like the way that we do them now is just easier, right? I get all the excess paint off of my palette tool now. Okay, so we're gonna put a little bit of brown onto the trunks of our trees and then make our little rounded scrapey bits. You know, the palm trees have those little ridges that run around through. So we're gonna do that and a little touch of our brown, maybe some of our yellow ochre as well. So we're gonna mix up both of our two brown colors. Plop them down here. Just like we do tree bark on anything else. Scoop up some of that darkness and let's decide. Looks like all of our light's coming in from this side. So along the back edge, we're just gonna touch and deposit some of that stuff, right? Now you could, if you wanted to, touch and drag it to where you have those bits. This is how Bob would do it. He'd kind of touch and hover and drag across that way. You don't have to. I find it's hard for people to do that, right? So if you just kind of tap onto it, it will overmix itself. It'll mix over that dark color, and then you can determine when to stop, when it's got enough texture, and this, that, and the other, right? Off of the same side, so the right side of this guy, just tapping as we go down, coming back up, tapping it, tapping it, tapping it, trying to get the paint to come off, right? And stick onto this back side. Now, because there's a little bit of liquid white in this plaque mix, it's making it hard for this paint to stick, but that's okay. We can get it on there. There. Gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. Now, we have to mix up a new color, so a brighter color. We're gonna take our yellow ochre, and we're gonna mix that in with that brown until it becomes a brighter brown, right? So we took our two brown colors, mixed them into one, took our yellow ochre, mixed it onto this guy, and now if we come in here and we tap at it, we'll have a brighter side. Again, so we're tapping, tapping, letting it work its way towards the back side of the trunk, but not covering everything. Doesn't have to be a straight line, right? Come in here like that, tap, 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 tap. Tippity-tappity, chippity-chappity. Over here, over there. By the time you get down here, if you wanted to, you could make it look a little bit more round by rolling your palette tool, but again, I find it hard for people to do that. I'm just gonna tap it on, tap it on, tap it on, just like that. Fabulous, right? Just fabulous. Come on, this little guy over here, really light. There we go. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. Very neat, guys. I'm telling you, it's gonna look cool. The more you put your faith in the process. Now, you don't want to tap your thing and just have it be a straight line down. Kind of go back and forth over your shadow a little bit. And the more you can go over your shadows, what I mean is like kind of roll over that side and the back and this side and that, kind of make a little Z shape of our shadows, right? Then the more it's going to look natural, like the light is trying to grip its way around this side, right? If it's not, then it's just not going to look the same. It just never will. So, again, every time that you do it, another chance for you to do it a different way and find out which way is the easiest way for you. Because the easiest way for you to do it is probably going to be
the correct way, is what I always say. Right? Why force yourself to try to do it a different way when you could do the same thing easier? Okay, do it that way. I'm just here to show you how I do it. Right? How I do it is like this. And you guys seem to like that. Seem to like how I do things and how I teach things. And I like you guys for all that. All of you guys out there are just rad in my book. There. There. A little bit of our dark, there's a little bit of our light, a little bit of dark. Very cool. Very cool. Make this bottom side, because it's so wet with the liquid white, it's causing it to not want to stick. There. Now we got it. There we go. There we go. Now, let's come back in, and what we're going to do, in order to make our little ridges, right? You can do them one way or the other. I feel like doing them this way on the sides of the trees that are this way makes it easier. We're just scraping it down, removing the paint, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as we come down this way, right? All we're doing, removing that chunky paint in a little rounded flick. Perfection. You don't all have to be perfect, right? Just literally removing it till we get all the way down. These guys, you're going to want to have them very small at the top, right? I'm not going this way on these ones. Very small at the top, so very close together, but still little rounded flicks. And the more we get down close to us, the bigger they get, and the more space in between to help them look a little bit closer down. I like that. That is cool. Now, you guys come up with a title for this one, because we need a title. Remember, if you purchase it during the show, you get to come up with the title forever. If not, then we have to come up with a title as a group, right? So, let me know what's going on over there, and we'll be all set a Rewski. I like it. I like it. Palm Beach. I dig that. That's a cool title right there. Cool old title, if you're asking me. Work that guy a little bit. There. Now we got to put a little bit of our highlight as well on that. There's little bushes down around the bottom, right? We're going to get in there, grab some more green, some more stuff. There. A few little bits. Nothing crazy. You don't want to overdo it. It's way far away from everything, right? So we don't want to overdo the brightness. You want to have a lot of darkness. That's the thing. Have some darkness. Put some bright bits in it. Just don't have to be too bright, right? Just save that darker color. Very cool, guys. Okay. You guys come up with a title for this one, and I'm going to start washing off the rest of these brushes, then we'll add our little signature to it, and then we'll be all set and ready for a title. So, what a cool little tutorial. Whole thing, start to finish, less than an hour. Showed you every single step on how to do every single thing that we did in this painting. All right, so you guys can literally do the exact same thing and come out with a really cool result. Now, we also have those stencils. If you've seen me painting on the stencils, or if you've checked out my TubeTube and seen all those videos where we've been painting on these stencils, we have those. You paint over it, and then you remove it, and it reveals the shape that you have. Really cool. Everybody seems to love them, and they're going like crazy, so you guys better go get over there and check them out. Caw-caw! It's flying in the day. Oh, I like it. Okay. Now, you guys come up with a title for it. I've got to sign it, and then we'll be all set to go. I'll be looking for your titles. Here we go. Zip, zap, zoop. Right there. Guys, I like it. That's neat. Look at those waves, dude. The waves, the splash. Everything is gorgeous. Everything is awesome. Man, that one came out cool. Cloudy with a chance of coconuts. I like that. I like that. It's a long title, but I like it. Twin poems. Let's see if we can't get you guys moved over here where there's less glare, perhaps. There we go. Kind of straight up on the painting. There we go. Fabulous. Beach crest. Boom, ba, boom. Serenity in the heavens.
Cloudy with a Chance of Coconuts is really good. I do like that as a title. I do like that. Let's see. Man, I don't know what happened to the YouTube audience over there today. Twin Palms Seaside Escape. I do like Palm Beach. It's just so just obvious. Palm Beach. The Gray Sea. I like that. I like that. Emerald Isle. I like that as well. That's cool. Seagull Island. It wouldn't load for you yet. There's 11 people. It's I've never, that's like, we had more people 4 years ago watching than that. And it's so weird. So either way, I'm gonna let it run through and we'll do it. Waves End, Corona Time, Gilligan's Island. All right, guy. I mean, there's no other Cloudy with a Chance of Coconuts. That has to be. That's got to be it, right? Like, that's the best one I've seen so far. That's really cool. So, yes, let's name it Cloudy with a Chance of Coconuts. There we go. Boom, finish over the top. Roll it up into here. Plop it down onto the screws. There we go. In there we go. Okay. So, over there, over here. This one's number 2000, number 2040. That's insane. Cloudy with, don't watch me write, with a chance of meatballs. Wait, coconuts. Okay. Luckily we had a big long canvas. We could fit that big long title on there. Very cool. Cloudy with a Chance of Coconutties. Painted on 9/6/2026. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place ever. You got to head over there and check it out. And beyond that, you guys, this one has really turned out cool. I wanted it to be sort of like our sea turtle one that we did the other night on TikTok, and it came out literally exactly the same. Besides our palm trees, this is better positioning. I love the ridges along the edge because we were able to grab that and drag it through so it looks like there's ridges there. That came out really cool, you guys. Really, really cool. So, yeah! Man, what a neat little painting this one turned out to be. So let us know what you think of it. How do you like it? I think it came out awesome. I'm super excited to see all of your guys' versions of it because they always end up looking really cool. So everybody that's watching over on the tubes over there, I love you guys. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Send it in to me on the Book of Faces, and that is at official Paint with Josh. The official part makes it official, right? The official Paint with Josh, because there's way too many fake Paint with Josh pages out there. So, can't wait to see your version at official Paint with Josh over on Facebook. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the best of a good day. Boosh! My goodness, my friends. That one.